Hello again! In this video, we're going to go over how to be in the right place at the right time. Now, the first thing that you should know is that taking pictures of airplanes is a lot like fishing, or maybe golf is a better example. It's that one good shot that keeps you coming back. Now, know that you won't always get everything, or sometimes even anything at all. Second thing, please respect signage and authorities. If somebody tells you to leave or there's a big no trespassing sign, you need to listen. Just politely leave, even if you've been in that spot before. It's unfortunate, but you really don't want to be that person that ruins it for other people. All right, so now we've gotten those two things out of the way. How do I be in the right place at the right time? Well, first of all, you're going to need to pay attention to two things. Number one, traffic flow, and number two, runway use. Airports have a standard traffic flow pattern. Aircraft will land on one side of the runway and take off to the other side. Now sometimes that flow will change, so you need to pay attention to that too. Sky Harbor is a perfect example. Generally in the mornings, the aircraft will land on the west side and take off towards the east. And in the afternoon, it switches. The aircraft land on the east side and take off towards the west. But you'll soon realize that nobody says east runway or west runway. They say things like 7 left or 25 right. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, all runways are designated with numbers, and they all have two numbers, one on each end. This number is the compass bearing to the nearest 10 degrees with any trailing zeros dropped. The opposite end of the runway is always going to be the reverse of the other side. So in the case of Sky Harbor, you have runway 08 on one end and 26 on the other end. In other words, one end of the runway is facing 260 degrees in one direction, and then 260 minus 180, so the other side, is 80, and any trailing zeros are dropped, which gives you 8. Now, note here as well, when you have two digits, say runway 26, you say runway 26, not 26. Some airports, Sky Harbor included, will have two runways facing the same direction, so parallel runways. That's where you get runways numbered like 7 left, 25 right, and 7 right, 25 left, to distinguish between the two. All right, so what all this means is that if you want landings at Sky Harbor in the afternoons, you need to be in the right spot. In this case, a spot where you can get the landings on runway 26 or runway 25. All right, great. Now I know where I need to be, but when do I need to be there? Well, there are tons of flight tracking apps out there and websites. Flight Radar 24, which is here, ADSB Exchange, which is here, and JetTip, which is here. Now note that JetTip is a subscription service. It's $5 a month, but in my mind it's totally worth it, cheaper than Netflix. All allow you to track aircraft in real time. And you can search by tail number, flight number, etc. I should also add in a really quick note here about military traffic and Luke Air Force Base specifically. Especially if you're talking military traffic, in general, it can't be tracked on sites like Flight Radar 24 or ADSB Exchange for security reasons. Now, note also that there is no schedule for Luke or just military flights just in general, again, for security reasons. Usually, most military traffic flies during the week since that is their normal work week. So, in other words, if you want to get stuff at Luke, you got to go during the week. Now, some people, including myself, have a scanner. That's this thing right here. So it makes it to where you can listen to the ATC. One of the most popular scanners is the BC125AT, which is what this is. You can get this off of Amazon for maybe about $100 to $150, and I'll show you how to program this thing in a later video. All right, so let's pretend there's a 747 coming in at Sky Harbor. But wait, I'm new to the area, and I've never been there before, so what do I do? Well, the first thing that I need to figure out is when is it coming in. So here's where I need to check Flight Radar 24. I can type in the flight number if I know that, or I can type in the tail number if I know that. Now, I need to check, am I going to have enough light or is it going to be too dark? Second, I need to check the traffic flow. What runway is used when? Third, I need to ask myself, what angles do I want? If I want landings, I need to be on the right end. And maybe more importantly, is it okay for me to be there? And you'll also want to ask yourself, am I going to be backlit? So in other words, am I going to be shooting into the sun? The best way to check where the light is going to be is with a website called SunCalc, and that's here. You can see where the sun is going to be anywhere in the world at any time of day or year. And if I have a scanner, what frequencies do I need to listen to? Finally, you're going to want to pre-flight your equipment. So, in other words, you're going to want to make sure that your batteries are charged, your memory card's in your camera, your settings are how you want it, and you've got the right lens. In other words, do your homework and plan ahead. Don't be that guy that either shows up to the airport and you forgot your memory card, or you're spot hunting, driving around the airport looking for the perfect spot, or even worse, you show up late and you miss the shot. Now, in the next video, I'll show you how to program your scanner and how to figure out what in the world they're saying.